new life there, and he did like that. And Baba had ordered Donkin that he has to run, he has to do practice, private practice, as now he has got sufficient experience in India with Indian patients and Indian medicines. And now he need to do his personal practice in India. He has to run a clinic, and then that whatever he earns from this clinic, that will be given to Baba, retaining some portion for himself and for maintaining the Gustaji. Remaining he will give to Baba. And in Dehradun, Dr. Donkin had this clinic, he was running it. That structure is still there. If you go and see, you can see that in Dehradun. We had visited it. So that same chapter we continue. Being cheerful and calm was one of the conditions of the new life. The members were also never to speak impatiently or get angry with anyone, even under provocation. So Dr. Donkin is mentioning all the new life conditions here. The party usually got underway at 4 a.m. in bitter cold conditions. It's very, very cold there in Dehradun. They would walk all day, then set up camp, tired, and food store, sorry. Water would have to be fetched from a well, and tents and bedding set up and arranged for the night. In a book, Ivy relates William's description of his experience during the new life, which he later conveyed to her in person. Will Donkin's facial expression was really comical as he described with wry humor how awful he felt when he when begging for food at someone's back door, and the housewife, on looking him over, noting his strong British body and healthy good looks, would remark scathingly that he shouldn't be so lazy. He should go to work. So it was very difficult. Even Eris says that they were hefty, good looking, and people used to scold them and run away that you are hefty, you should work while you are begging. And begging was the precondition of new life, which was helpful to crush one's ego. From the outset, William had trouble with the White House put in his care. That white horse they had purchased, it was in the care of Dr. William Donkin, and which was a trouble for him. The animal overnight turned into a sort of demon, putting his ears back and baring its teeth. It was very wild. Only Mera could bring him into control, and no one else. Though it was white, it was very, very horrible. The yeah, the horse would eat from a feed bag that William held. Before getting down to the last few munches, it would begin to turn around, preparing to kick William. That horse will eat, and then the eating is at the end, he will turn around to kick William daily. Poor William. Calamities facing the group finally spilled over into a full-fledged protest with William. Deep in the fray, recalls Erachizesawala in his book, Tells from the New Life. Original, only single book, small one, beautiful book. So Eris says, so these all were, till that time, were so much agitated and so much with all the hardships that they did like strike type they did with Baba. So Erich is describing that scene. Donkin flared up, saying Do you know how to handle this horse?
Hmm.
He is not a horse, he is a devil. William's comment came in the midst of a session, complaint session by a member of men companions who thought they were bearing the brunt of the suffering in the journeys, while Baba and the women companions were getting off relatively easy. Elsewhere, um, Erich always says that there used to be a cold war between women and men only of Baba. They always thought women were getting privileged.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was one issue brought up was tending all of the animals, including milking the cow each morning and even carrying newborn calves. They also cited the rough conditions for older members of the party and the difficulties they encountered with villagers along the way. Erich, who was head of the male companions, reminded them that when they took their grievances to Baba, everyone was to maintain a cheerful face as per new life orders. In the end, Dr. Ghani, an old school chum of Baba's, was chosen to relay the issues to Baba. But it had to be done without rancor or resentment. So very important. They were all very angry, but they don't have to show the anger and irritation, but they have to tell it to Baba with a smiling face. And so the task was entrusted to our Dr. Ghani. There was a bit of cat and mouse activity between Baba and the other companions the next day before Ghani faced Baba. He apparently was quite obtuse in his explanation, telling Baba that the companions were a little put off that they were not being treated as well as the animals they were in charge of. Whatever the tactic used, Baba appeared to have understood the air was cleared, and the need for a repeat performance did not come up again in the new life. This is important. Shortly after the companions flew up, Baba decided the group should take a week off from traveling and stay in one place. Holiday. Let's rest, except we will still have to go out begging for our meals. Baba conveyed on the alphabet board. Egos were certainly being hacked away rather than just whittled down in the new life. But the blueprint for the new life had been made clear in a declaration to all Baba lovers worldwide before this phase began. The circulars one saint, now we are on page number 148. Yeah, you have to scroll down. Yeah, come to the page number 148. I'll continue reading. So I will continue the sentence. Sorry. Two circulars, one sent out in March 1950 and the other in September 1950, together had laid out Baba's expectations clearly to everyone. This new life is endless, and even after my physical death, it will be kept alive by those who live the life of complete renunciation of falsehood, lies, hatred, anger, greed, and lust, and who, to accomplish all this, do no lustful actions, do no harm to anyone, do no backbiting, do not seek material possessions or power, who accept no homage, neither covet honor, nor shun disgrace, and fear no one and nothing. The two circulars continue by those who rely wholly and solely on God and who love God purely for the sake of loving. Mhm. Who believe in the love of God and in the reality of manifestation and yet do not expect any spiritual or material reward, who do not let go the hand of truth, and who, without being upset by calamities, bravely and wholeheartedly face all hardships with 100% cheerfulness and give no importance to caste, creed, and religious ceremonies. This new life will live by itself eternally, even if there is no one to live it. So, even for the next age and all that, it seems. And in what I always feel about this condition, in our practical day to day life, if we try all these things, yes, it is always a hardship and it is a hard life, but it's possible. While most of Baba's followers worldwide were aware of the difficulties in adhering to these principles and perhaps compromised certain interpretations, the companions who actually traveled with him were under direct pressure to toe the line. Though William felt the duress, along with Baba's other direct companions, he was at times given duties that he felt were of value. For a period during the new life, Baba asked William on his behalf to communicate with Elizabeth Patterson and Norina Match Bailey, Eleonora, as Baba referred to them, who were heavily involved in clearing land and establishing a small network of cabins at the new Meher Spiritual Center on the coast of South Carolina. Baba had indicated that he would soon visit the center. As the only Westerner traveling in the new life, William stood out. There was also talk among Eastern members about incidents of favoritism bestowed on William. Even in his diary, Donkin's diary, William says about this, and he says he never liked Baba do favorism with him, and he says he will be happy if Baba get angry with him and do firing with him also. That means Baba will love more, and he is not happy if someone praises him and like that, so many things he has mentioned in his diaries. Beautiful it is. On one occasion, Baba had blankets and sheets distributed to his companions, and William was the only individual to receive a mosquito net because he was the only Westerner. So they are not accustomed to all these things, mosquitoes, dust, dirty things. So Baba was practical. Page number 149. Baba, perhaps sensing the feelings of others, seized the occasion at the October 25 meeting to bring up William's courage in taking part in the new life. That's true. In his case, the little consideration in giving him a mosquito net was not a concession of favoritism. Compared to the other men, he has suffered most, and yet he does not grumble. On the contrary, I find him keeping a very good and cheerful mood. That's true. His tastes in food, his habits of sitting, sleeping, toilet, and bathing are altogether different. But without mulling over them, he keeps himself cheerful. Not to make a hard life harder, he has been shown more consideration which in turn is neither a concession nor partiality. Beautifully, Baba has explained. Although eliminating the ego was one of Baba's major goals in working with his followers, he knew there was a limit to how much they would take at once. He would also often give them a boost, either verbally or through a pat on the back or embrace, cueing in to when the individual needed encouragement. While all of the companions were equally slogging out the new life under trying circumstances, there were times when William was undoubtedly overburdened. He continued to tend the canton, cantankerous white horse.
Cantankerous, cantankerous.
Cantankerous white horse, thanks, Betty, which was later harnessed to a Tonga horse cart with the hope that the job would settle it down. After one particularly nasty day, tending to the whims of the animal, William collapsed exhausted in front of the campfire for the night without even undoing his bedroll. William would later relay in a letter his determination to follow Baba's rules. William says in his letter, moods due to the illness, want of sleep, etc., were one thing, and this Baba understood, and it was not deemed a fault, but if rising out of anger and irritation because of putting up with hardships, etc., then they would be deemed false, not to be tolerated. And Baba warned them all that he had complete freedom to send any away or to keep them with him, which was the major threat to be sent away by Baba for all the Mandali all the time. However, it was noticed that throughout the new life, although Baba was very strict, he was also very forgiving and not without his jovial moods and eternal humor. After more than 10 years living directly with Meher Baba, William understood the master disciple relationship. Now we go to page number 150. Baba said more than once that his Western lovers were hard nuts to crack when it came to eliminating their egos. The major requirement for achieving a human state where divine love and God realization were possible. That his approach was accomplished very much on a one on one basis must have made the task difficult for Meher Baba. For while he would issue all kinds of rules and orders, they were almost always interpreted on an individual basis. If, as Baba said, that the East, particularly India, was more prone to spiritual matters than the materialistic West, this may have made compliance easier for those followers who were reared in his own country. As November gave way to December, the companions were traveling northward in India from Banaras to Hardwar. Baba asked Donkin to study a map to determine the most convenient route for the journey on foot from Banaras to Hardwar. He said that he expected the new life to become so difficult that not a single one from amongst you will remain with me. I am expecting of you in this new life something which is superhuman in some aspects. That's very great. I too am in the soup along with you. Though the Ganges does not lose its rapids completely, it nevertheless becomes quiet and calm in Hardwar, a major pilgrimage site. The water is clean, and people prefer taking baths on the numerous ghats built on the river shores. It is said that taking a bath here purifies the soul and opens the way for the ultimate freedom, nirvana. As per Baba's usual procedure, his identity was kept secret wherever they went, and he was referred to as the elder brother. Despite the secrecy, there were occasions where people would recognize Baba and small crowds would form seeking his darshan. At one point in Belgaum, people heard of Baba and his companions' presence in the local newspaper and came for darshan. Baba addressed the companions about dealing with inquiries from people while on the new life. Now remember, there will be occasions when people will ask all sorts of questions, and such occasions will often arise. Donkin should be the one to go and meet the Westerners, and either Khani, Adi, Nilu, Yarach, Paintu, or Vishnu should explain matters to Indian questioners. So Baba had decided who will answer the questions. William was instructed, one page number 151, first para. William was instructed to tell any Westerners that a meeting or darshan was not possible, and the Indian Mandali were to deal with the Easterners in the same manner. The extent and seriousness of this order is reflected in an incident which took place on November 10. Jal Rusi, Dr. Gohar's younger brother, made no attempt to see Baba or the companions. Although he was staying in Belgaum and Donkin had seen him several times on the road, both immediately turned their faces away, as were Baba's instructions. Added to William's course of caring for animals, looking after the health of fellow companions, and begging for meals, Baba asked him to be the newspaper reader for the group. No pass which Baba gave out was without an element of intrigue, and William's newspaper reading corps had its unique points. He was to keep 75 rupees with him, which Baba calculated would suffice to cover the purchase of daily newspaper for 2 years. 75 rupees those days. Further, purchasing newspaper daily for 2 years. You, Donkin, uh, cut out such items and show them to me, and these after approval I shall give to the companions to read. So there was a scrutiny, and Baba will decide what is to be read by others. Baba expected William not to relay any political and world news to any of the other companions. Local attempts, which may have borne on their travel plans, were all that Baba was interested in conveying according to the Lord Mayor account. Yeah, naturally, because floods, drought, rain, and strikes and road closures, all that need to be read. One has to know about it. Donkin should cut out only news attempts relating to new laws, riots, curfews, strikes, epidemics, and so forth. Then forget what you have read and destroy the newspaper. This is Donkin's lifetime duty. At one point during the journey, a discussion was held about possibly taking on camels to serve as pack animals. William admitted his experience with camels during his Sahara Desert adventure before he met Baba. You all might be remembering Alpine Club and his 6,000 miles desert excursion of Dr. William Donkin on camel. So he had the experience. After this, he ended up inheriting part of the care of these animals, although their stay was short when they proved too much of a nuisance. The baking process for the companions in the morning followed a particular pattern. They usually got underway very early and would eventually notice smoke coming from the huts they passed, indicating the first meal of the day. And I must add here to have a clear picture. Those days in India, there were no stoves, gas burners, gas stoves, nothing. Only firewood cooking used to be done on. And also there was, and in still it is a custom in some parts, though not in metropolis cities. So if you are cooking your food for the family, if someone bakes, comes on the door at the door begging, it is assumed as God, and one do not dare to deny. They will give up. That's the one thing. Secondly, first door, there used to be two doors for each hut or house, front door and back door. Women were never allowed in society openly, Indian women, and they will always be at the back doors. And usually, male in the houses will deny giving alms and all that, but women will be God fearing, soft hearted, and they will easily give the alms to. So, usually, they used to go at the back doors for begging if it is available. Okay, that will give little picture about those days of India. Okay, so on some of such occasion, Baba would send heirs to those distant huts for bhiksha and then ask him to rejoin him on the main road. Heirs' experiences of begging were pleasant and amusing too. He observed that those living in mansions were not large-hearted too, but the village folk readily offered something from what they had. There was a beautiful story. Everyone knows that story of spinach and bhakri or roti. They were hungry for many days, and just there was nothing, and they see smoke coming, and there were all fields around. And Baba saying, Sairaj, go and seek the you for the food. And they were very poor family, and they had very little, and the lady was had just started preparing food for the family, and he actually she hadn't anything, but then she says to Erich, wait, I'll prepare, and two bhakris she prepares, and vegetable of spinach, and then that hot piping spinach and bhakri. Yeah, thanks, Mera. Erich takes to Baba. Always they used to take Baba, and then Baba used to distribute. So Mehra says, only little, see, there were 40 people, and two bhakris with spinach is nothing. So here one person eats two bhakris. But Baba distributed just one bite to each one. And she says, even with that one bite received in Baba's hand and piping hot that spinach and that bhakri, it somehow was sufficient for our so many days' hunger. Really wonderful story. Anyway, So Baba always, back to book, Baba always appeared to be trying to neutralize the sanskaras, impressions that the companions were experiencing to keep inflated ego at bay. At one point, after the group left Hardwar and were traveling to nearby Dehradun, Baba had occasion to admonish Adi Senior, his long-time Mandli and secretary. Adi had arranged outside accommodations that were not to Baba's liking, and he had to accept the dressing down. Baba used to give sharp firing to Adi. The more the appetite of bearing it, the more firing one will get. In the course of the discussion, Adi described the food and railway fare arrangements he had made on behalf of the travelers, about which Baba expressed his gratitude. Balnath offers his own take on this bit of psychology in his Glimpses series. Baba's sneering and cheering were equally significant. They were meant to free his students from the binding snares of I did it. The companions were undoubtedly learning as the new life progressed and becoming more guarded in their responses to Baba's requests. Although they were following Baba's orders, they were also asked to treat him equally as just another companion. They soon got a chance to rest this equality factor when Baba sought out a manager for the group to deal with the cooking of the food and other matters. Baba consulted Adi, Pendu, Donkin, and Sadashiv Patel, but each man declined, convinced this innocent looking dependence would in fact turn into a rope around his neck. William proposed the formation of a committee of managers, perhaps in an effort to keep the hit off any one individual. Very smart. The idea was finally put aside when no one could come to an agreement. Baba must have felt that he was shouldering too much responsibility, for at this time he emphatically stated on his alphabet board, "You men fail to grasp that I really want to be free to look after other details for the new life." Yeah, very true. Despite the admonishment, Baba's sense of caring came through on many occasions, including on the road traveling toward Dehradun in early January 1950. During these long marches, Donkin tended to get very shaky after mm, long periods without eating. But he never complained, since the women always carried fruit and sweets. One day, when Donkin became so shaky, he almost fainted. Baba went to the woman and took an orange. He then walked all the way back to Donkin and gave it to him. Donkin immediately consumed it. Later, he said it was a lifesaver. The group stayed in Dehradun in a well-appointed bungalow owned by an English woman was not to be far for long. Oddly enough, while at the bungalow, Baba, in another twist to routine, offered help to an English couple, the Anglos, who were having trouble getting out of India and returning to England. William provided financial help to the couple for their return home. Wonderful. Baba, the women Mandali, and at least two of the older Mandali, including Dr. Abdul Ghani Munsif, had made the last leg of the trip to Dehradun by train due to the strain of the new life travels. Other companions, including William, made the trip overland to get the various vehicles, bullock carts, and animals to Dehradun. The caravan encountered all types of difficulties, not to mention detours in getting the vehicles and animals to the city. Mandli member Bhav Kalchure's book Meher Baba's New Life outlines the problem encountered. Yeah, it's a wonderful book. Now we'll turn to page number 154. 8 days after leaving Banaras, Painter Tonkin, Alaba Baidul, and Sadashim arrived with the carts and animals. The group was late because they took a shortcut. Caravan got stuck in the mud while crossing a rivulet in a wild and secluded place. Then, following Donkin's advice, they laid branches in front of the wheels to give the tires the same traction, and the caravan eventually eased onto the road again, but now it was late evening. Little did they know that on reaching the destination, another surprise would come from Baba. A close follower, Balnatu, author of the Glimpses of the God-Man series and Conversations with the Awakener series, was not a companion but offers a description of the new life process and the hint of the major change that was coming for the companions. After reaching Dehradun, Baba thought of revising some of the conditions being followed by his companions in the new life. They had passed through the phase of training, begging, and gypsy life. These phases had offered Baba's companions some objective lessons which had helped them to understand their own weaknesses and merits. Everyone had enough experiences of the comforts and discomforts, the thrill and the fatigue of the new life phase. This life had many surprises, some aggravating, some soothing. They had to pass through them all with considerable unconcern. Sometimes it was natural for them to feel depressed and dejected, but they had to laugh it off soon, the sooner the better. The second phase of the new life, enacted in Dehradun, brought yet another major shift in direction for most of the companions. Three new plans were introduced. In one, four of the companions were to return to their former homes. In the second plan, plan number 1B, William and the two older Mandali were to settle in Dehradun, where William would open a medical dispensary and work as a doctor. The third group, which included eight Eastern disciples, would continue the new life travels with Baba. All the original companions were to continue the life and to live, under new life orders, even if they were not physically accompanying Baba. Now we move on to page number 155. The women companions would also no longer travel with Baba and were to stay in accommodations near Dehradun. On January 26, 1950, now today is 23rd January, so Baba is with us. On January 26, 1950, Baba spoke with Donkin about Plan 1B, A bungalow had been located which would serve as a medical dispensary. Baba and the women were staying in a separate bungalow in the village of Mansri Mafi. Now it is called Meher Mafi. Gustaji and Kaka, both in poor health, were eventually to stay with Donkin under his care. For the time being, however, they were at Manjari Mahi, and it was arranged that Donkin would pay 150 rupees a month for their food and lodging there. In this way, a provision was made in this plan to care for those who are elderly, ill, disabled, or destitute. Compassionate father considering. In the late afternoon of the 26th, Baba urged Donkin, Nilu, and Vishnu went up to the open terrace of the roof of the bungalow to witness the magnificent view of the snow covered peaks of the Mussoorie hills, lit by sunlight against a clear blue sky. Just after the late group's arrival, Bob, as others arrived by food, by cart, etc., Baba again lauded William for how he had preserved on the 8-day journey, bringing the caravan of vehicles and animals to Dehradun, which was a very great challenge. Donkin showed the greatest courage, which brave-hearted men like Vendu and Vaidul, Eastern Mandali accompanying William, appreciated. Baba later stated that Donkin provided an example of love for him in the new life, worthy of being followed. This is very important. Avtar himself is praising love of Donkin, others to follow. The shift in plans indicated that the journey to northern India had taken its toll on new life companions. Of the women monthly, Mehra and Mani were not well, and Kaka and Gustaji, the two male monthly to be left in William's care, were unable to continue, one because of illness and the other because of old age. It appeared that William was finally going to be able to practice medicine, and he was sent off on January 27 to Mehrabad and Bombay to bring back supplies and purchase necessary medicines and equipment for the dispensary. Before stepping onto the Delhi Express, Donkin was instructed by Baba to carry out various other errands, which included going to Mehrabad and Mehrazad. Page number 156. An aside on William's freeing of mind during the new life is reflected in an observation made by Nazuk Kotwal in her book. She says, Baba informed Mummy, that Nargis Kotwal, that whenever Dr. Donkin came to Mehrabad, she was to be in charge of his food. Mummy carried out Baba's orders religiously, taking great pains to cook 3 different items for each of Dr. Donkin's meals. But to Mummy's dismay, he would mix everything together in the plate before starting to eat. In those days, he had a fiery temper, and I particularly remember one day when Mummy was 5 minutes late in spending his evening tea. When Hilu, younger sister, and I delivered it to him, he took the mug, looked at his watch, and then flung the tea, mug, and all out the door. Frightened, we ran to tell Mummy what had happened. Mummy did not seem disturbed. She just started to make more tea. And 10 minutes later, when Dr. Donkin came to her, she calmly said, Donkin, I have made your tea again, so please have it. Oh. He started to sit, then gave a roaring laugh and hugged first Mummy and then Hilu and me before drinking his tea. Wonderful. Despite Donkin's temper, we found him very pleasant to talk to. Hilu used to sit next to him when he had his meals and listen to all he said attentively, as he was very intelligent and interesting and often very amusing. Others give similar descriptions of William's outburst during much of his life in India. Such behavior was certainly against New Life orders, where one was expected to be cheerful and calm and to never speak impatiently or get angry with anyone. Perhaps William, being out of Baba's physical presence, was just letting off steam, or his sense of decorum was falling by the wayside along with his ego. Strangely enough, when William was away collecting supplies and doing errands, those remaining in Dehradun were not shy about discussing his welfare without him being present, and even talked about the viability of setting up the medical dispensary. Baba called all the companions in the hall at 6:30 a.m. to discuss the availability of Donkin's bungalow. Opinions of the companions were invited about sending a wire to Donkin to postpone or cancel buying medical equipment at Bombay on account of uncertainty of obtaining a suitable bungalow for Donkin to start his medical practice. After further discussion, it was decided to move quickly to find a suitable bungalow for William rather than sending him the wire saying the medical dispensary plan was off Baba's face. William returned to Dehradun on February 10, bringing woman disciple Naza from Meherabad to help look after Mehra and Mani as they recuperated from the new life travels. Common points in the various plans that the now disassembled companions were to continue to follow included not to touch any woman with lustful intention, not to discuss politics, not to create situations that would invite homage, and above all, to remain cheerful. In glimpses, Balnatu presses home the core ingredient of the new life. In the new life, Baba often stirred up the companions' emotions and then helped them to face their weaknesses. The plans and the many changes in the external aspect of the new life were made by Baba to keep the spirit of the new life, helplessness and hopelessness intact. Baba gave some timely advice at this time about remaining cheerful, which he said was a divine attribute that helped to make others happy. If you worry about yourself, God does not worry about you. And why should He? If you stop worrying, God has to begin to worry for you. Remember Him wholeheartedly. Leave your worrying to Him and be free to remain cheerful. Baba said through the alphabet board. How very beautiful. Years later, in the 1960s, Baba's famous saying, "Don't worry, be happy," would adorn small cars and large posters, and eventually inspired the popular Bobby McFerrin song. McFerrin would later say, whenever you see a poster of Meher Baba, it usually says, don't worry, be happy, which is a pretty near philosophy in 4 words, I think. A cheerful disposition was certainly of major importance to Baba in regards to his followers and in relation to the discomforts of green and cold weather of the new life. He said, if you don't want to be old before your time, be cheerful in deed and word and in appearance. Indeed and word and appearance, most of all in appearance. It is a divine art to look cheerful. It helps others, but very difficult, at least for me. William was taxed. Yeah, William was taxed to the limit. To remain cheerful when added to his other duties was the job of sailing the menagerie, the animals of Zoom, of animals collected on the new life to raise 5,000 rupees to help finance his new clinic. In the end, William was allowed to give away the cantankerous, cantankerous white horse. Cantankerous. Baba and the woman New Life companions were settling into new life at the Manjari Mafi bungalow, not far from Dehradun. Naza, fresh from the outside world, became part of the household, but was ordered not to relay anything about her life in Bombay to the companions in accordance with New Life orders. William then turned his attention to setting up his dispensary. Again, Baba seemed to relish the idea of heaping more responsibilities onto those close Mandali. Not only was William expected to look after the welfare of Mandali members, Kaka and Gustaji, as leader of the Plan 1B group, but all extra funds he earned at the dispensary were to be turned over to help support those living under the other plans, including the women disciples. At one point, William voiced his impatience and was a bit peevish about the slow progress in turning the bungalow into a medical clinic. Despite this glitch, great funfair occurred on the day the clinic finally opened in late February 1950. Baba told all the companions to be ready by 2:30 p.m. to attend the opening ceremony of Dr. Donkin's consulting clinic in Dehradun. Donkin invited Dr. Prakash, one of the leading physicians of Dehradun, all helped on in making the function a success. Baba personally served sweets, rava, etc., and tea. Just like a father, no? A father will do for his son. William was to be taught a lesson shortly after getting the clinic started. Another doctor and his office boy had a business up the street from William's dispensary, and the boy began dropping in on William at unusual hours to chat with him. One day, when William was told the boy was approaching, he said, tell him I am out. Almost instantaneously, Baba seemed to appear from nowhere, and as he stood in the doorway, reprimanded Dr. Donkin, beginning with, didn't I tell you that you had to be 100% honest? Dr. Donkin defended himself by stating that this was only a little teeny white lie as is often used in social circumstances. This is very important incident and very important teaching by Baba through this incident. Whether white or black, not to lie at all. Baba insisted that there could be no white lies, and Dr. Donkin must make up his mind whether he was in or out and act accordingly. No compromise on the part of telling truth, only truth. Truth is only 100%, half truth is not truth. Baba was in regular communication with Elizabeth Patterson in the West through letters he dictated to William, and at this point he was indicating he would make a trip to the West in the summer of 1950. Is Betty there? Jai Baba.
Yes, I'm here.
Uh,
Would you like me to
can
read?
you please, can you
Sure,
please take over?
sure.
Because a little slowly too.
Okay, slowly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
William
Thank
also offered his
you.
own
Yeah.
anecdotes. William also offered his own anecdotes in the correspondence on Baba's behalf with Elizabeth and Norina in South Carolina, as in this excerpt from his letter of March 10th, 1950. As far as Baba's new life goes, not one of us companions can make head or tail of it. It is all a mystery and again a mystery, and very difficult for those who are with Baba and those away from him. I went into Plan B, taking a temporary job, since that's what I felt Baba wanted me to do. But whether it is a frightful waste of money, I really do not know. Also, I do not know, as you can realize, how long Baba will keep me at it, whether for a month, a year, or a lifetime. But as far as Baba himself goes, he is as adorable as ever. William had good reason to express apprehension about the viability of the medical dispensary. From the outset, the clinic appeared to be run on a charitable basis. Baba followers in Dehradun were included in the patient list, and Baba told William not to charge those devotees. On one occasion, William treated an older woman, collecting only 1/4 of the bill, with the rest coming out of his own pocket. Baba, however, did not appear concerned that William would turn a profit in running the clinic. On one of his main concerns, according to a reference in the Lord Mayor series, appears to be over the pressures that running the clinic put on William's own personal health. Don't worry in the least about earning money. If patients come, well and good. And if they don't be anxious about it. All right, let me move the page.
Very important. Yeah.
Don't economize regarding your food. Eat well and keep healthy and fit. Bao Kalturi's account goes on to say that William had wanted to help the companions financially and had originally thought the idea of opening a dispensary for that purpose. But he experienced one disappointment after another. The sick would take advantage of his generosity, and he continued to lose money. Baba could still be a stickler for detail when it came to the clinic. There was to be an exchange of medical instruments, one in Baba's possession and one in William's, which did not occur to Baba's satisfaction. Baba pointed out that William had not kept his promise in this regard, but later forgave William and allowed him to keep both instruments. On the flip side, Baba would continue to ask how William was feeling. On one visit to Baba and the women's clinic, and the women Mandali's residence, the toll of the running of the clinic was taking on William. Let me read that again. On one visit to Baba and the women Mandali's residence, the toll the running of the clinic was taking on William was evident. After seeing the worried expression on Don's face, Baba observed that it was a sheer mistake on Don's part not to give up worrying about earning money through the practice, when he was repeatedly told by him that he should not worry about it in the least. In fact, it is quite true that Don has to practice his science with a meager capital amidst unfavorable conditions. Being an Englishman, he is unknown to the people here and has no large circle of friends here to help. Certainly, medical and personal requirements urgently necessary are not available to him. In spite of all these difficulties, Don has put his heart and soul into the work. When patients are wanting, he gets worried and restless. His one desire is to earn and help the new life of Baba. Although William's clinic did show spurts of success, its overall viability was failing as the weeks evolved. Positive reports in late March gave way to dismal reports by mid-April. The overall ill health of the New Life companions had led to the adoption of the various new plans. Companions also noticed how Baba behaved differently from the old life, where he had always expressed concern over the slightest sickness of people. Oh, let me move it. Sorry.
Big lessons
Of his followers. In the new life, he seemed unconcerned about their health. Bal Natu's Glimpses series indicates that when the new life evolved into the new series of plans, Baba took on a serious mood at the meeting to discuss the changes. Baba looked very solemn. He was curt in admonishing his companions for the slightest mistakes they had committed. There was still strict adherence to certain New Life rules, especially the one which forbade the group from communicating with any Old Life followers or receiving any news from the Old Life. The strictness of this particular edict was driven home when William received word that the mother, also a Baba follower, of one of the New Life companions had died in Pune. William conveyed the news to Baba and was chastised for doing so. Donkin ought not to have given me the news concerning people in the old life, whom I have left behind, said Baba. Wow, strict. The next day, Baba cautioned William further. From now on, do not give any news relating to anyone in the old life, even if someone has died. Do not inform me unless and until I ask you if the occasion arises. This rule would hit William directly less than a year later when his mother became very ill in England. Changes were continually afoot in Dehradun. It was decided to disband the colony and close the medical clinic. William, still determined to have a successful clinic so he could contribute funds to support other Mandali, had proposed to Baba that it might be more prosperous to set up a clinic that he and Dr. Nilu would run in a more populated center. Donkin suggested that if Nilu joined him as a doctor in a clinic on a large scale at Delhi, there seemed a good probability of maintaining the companions. Baba liked the suggestion and said the idea would have to be kept pending till in future the companions had sufficient funds to establish such a clinic, which would help to earn livelihood for maintenance of all. The Dehradun clinic was shut down on May 1, and it was decided that a medical clinic would be opened in Delhi starting May 10. In the
Oh,
meantime, Baba and the women Mandali moved, let's see,
so just 2 months it went on.
mm,
Just two
I,
months,
mm,
is it?
let's see, I'm not back. Okay, I'll take your word. Probably not long.
Mm. Seems so. February they opened and May it was closed.
Yeah, that's right. They moved from the quarters they were occupying into William's abandoned medical clinic at 29 Lytton Road. While William and Dr. Neelu were attempting to set up the Delhi medical clinic, Baba developed eye pains and the mumps, and both doctors were summoned back to Dehradun to tend to him. At this time, another curveball suddenly appeared. Baba had borrowed 40,000 rupees from two followers with the assurance that another follower was selling two houses in Pune with 40,000 rupees from the sale, destined to come into Baba's hands. Complications arose in this deal when the Baba follower who had offered the proceeds of his house to Baba changed his mind. Baba felt obligated to the two other followers who had fronted the 40,000 rupees. When the money did not come through, Baba decided to seek donations from Eastern and Western followers to pay off the loan. It was suddenly decided William would travel to the West, England, and the United States in an effort to collect donations from Baba followers in those two countries. The amount Baba wanted raised was 50,000 rupees. The extra 10,000 rupees would go for work with the God intoxicated, the mad, and the poor.
Thank you, Betty. I think we should, it's time for us to
Mm.
stop
Hmm. Perfect timing.
8:45, 9:45. Yeah. So, and it's chapter is closed. So, next chapter will begin next month, February.
Oh my
And we
goodness.
will stop here.
After Amartithi, wow.
Tithi, I will be going on 28th.
To Meherabad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now we are in Nasik. Some group of Baba lovers are coming from Hamirpur to see Baba places in Nasik.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, will you show
So,
them before you go to Meherabad?
yeah, yeah. That's why
Ah,
I'm in Nasik. We have an our
I
apartment. I got
see.
it cleaned and all that. And
Oh,
there will be procession. So we have to take police permission and all that. So I went to three police stations where the permission and all that is going on.
ah,
Yeah.
processions, you mean of the Hamirpur people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
30.
and
Where are they
Hamirpur.
staying?
Nauranga.
oh,
Where are they staying?
Yes, Sushma ji, Jai Baba.
कहाँ कहाँ रह रहे हो?
नासिक नासिक
नहीं नासिक में कहाँ मतलब बाबा का सेंटर है या
नासिक में मैं जय भवानी रोड नासिक रोड बिहाइंड मुक्तिधाम
नहीं नहीं मतलब अरेंजमेंट कैसे है रहने का
अब मेरे घर में
यू आर
रहेंगे हाँ
आपके घर में इतने फोटिया है हाउ मेनी
हाँ,
ऑफ देम
ये घर बड़ा है बॉम्बे से दिस हाउस इज बिगर देन बॉम्बे
ओह
this though it is 2 BHK, the terrace balcony is as good as one room, and my neighbor will help. Some will sleep in her hall also, and just like that.
how many people? How many?
30, there
30.
will be 33.
Oh, that's a
थर्टी
lot.
थ्री
Ah. And then will you all go to Meherabad? Will they go and you go
Yeah,
all?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they will. They are all are doing. They are. They all will be volunteering there,
oh, I see.
and they will leave on 27th immediately, and 28th we will leave after cleaning up all the mess.
Wow. Big,
So
big party, big celebration. First.
yeah,
So
Early.
you are
bhajan on
arranging
26th.
everything.
Huh?
You are arranging everything for them. Food and
Baba,
everything.
Baba arranging.
My
Yeah,
God.
even all the three police stations, no, we had to spend the whole day today. When you called, na, we are going from one police station to another place to arrange for
Oh,
their lunch and food and what type of food and all that, cleanliness to see all that. And then we went to, but every police station, really practically, we didn't face any problem.
Mm.
Within 5-10 minutes, okay, entertain, go to that table, get the clearance, then go to this secrecy department, get there, get the stamp done, done. Just 5 to 10 minutes.
they have to take permission from police station.
That is for because वो रहता ना प्रभात फेरी, like
अच्छा अच्छा
procession,
मॉर्निंग प्रोफेशन
Baba's
प्रोफेशन
slogans and the flags and photos and
अच्छा
sayings, all that. They will carry just 2-3 places. Sorosh Bungalow will be taking them, and Meher Retreat, the first Western ashram, and Pandavleni, was a few places.
Wow. How many days will they be in Nasik? How many
Just
days?
2 days. 2
2 days.
days. 2 days.
इट इज
Ah.
वेरी कोल्ड आल्सो ना देयर नासिक
Mm.
ठंड है ना नासिक में
Ah. Mark, my eye has become a river. It's flowing and
Oh,
flowing
no.
and flowing. And noses.
Oh, it's cold. Will some of them?
Nose, eye, the whole day it is dropping
Wow.
water.
Will some people sleep outside then on balcony like that in the cold, or most inside? Inside.
Most
In-
of them inside, and the arrangement has done with the neighborer also. There are big halls. These
Mm,
are bigger rooms.
mhm,
So 10, 12 or 15 will be accommodated in her hall and the rest here easily.
mhm.
I have extra mattresses and all the things.
सो
Wow.
मेनी 33 माय गुडनेस
Hmm?
33 beddings
Yeah. Are your neighbors Baba lovers? No, but they're offering their place. How nice.
अच्छा मेहरा रुक जाओ, आरती करके जाओ। राजेंद्रन कौन है? जी जी, या विल जस्ट कंक्लूड विद आरती। आरती हैज, शी इज देयर ना? मेहरा इज देयर।
जय बाबा
जय,
थाई।
जय बाबा। Most of the people gone to Mehrabad, no, so less people.
Mm.
And where is our
नीलम
dear
नीलम
Dinah today? I didn't see him.
She's they're having a big storm where she lives. She's getting ready for a very big, cold, very cold time, kind of
ये
preparing. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Baba will take care of her, and we'll stop here. We'll have Baba's Aarti and we'll stop. Okay? Next, in the next session. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Beti. Thank you, all of you. Rajendran ji, Sushma ji, Mehra. Jai Baba. Please sing Baba Aarti. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
अवतार मेहर बाबा के जय। लहर से ही है जिसके सृष्टि का निर्माण उसके अनंतता का हाँ, कैसे हो अनुमान आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन नमो ब्रह्मा मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ प्रेम दीप मैं ये जलाऊं निबिड़ अंधेरा मिटता पाऊं अपना सब कुछ तुम्हें चढ़ाऊं अपना सब कुछ तुम्हें चढ़ाओ तुम मुझको सरसाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ ओ, जीवन की हर सांस हमारी बन जाए प्रभु गति तुम्हारी हे करुणा कर लीलाधारी हे करुणा कर लीलाधारी तुम करुणा बरसाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ हो बने आरती आ बने आरती जीवन मेरा आदि अंत का लय हो घेरा आदि अंत का लय हो घेरा भूले नयन और दिखे सवेरा खुले नयन और दिखे सवेरा तुम मुझ में छा जाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ ओ, आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन आदि सचेतन शांति निकेतन नमो ब्रह्माओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ मेरा प्रभु आरती अपनाओ अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय जय बाबा
Beautiful.
जय बाबा, थैंक यू
Jai
मेहरा
Baba.
जी। अवतार मेहर
Meher
बाबा
Baba
बाबा
की
ki jai.
की
जय।
जय
अवतार
Avatar.
मेहर
Meher
बाबा
Baba
मेहर बाबा
की
ki
की
jai.
जय।
जय
Avatar.
अवतार
Meher
अवतार
Baba
मेहर
बाबा
बाबा
की
की
जय।
जय
Jai.
थैंक यू
Thank
बाबा,
you.
थैंक
Thank
यू।
you,
जय
Meherkrupa.
बाबा, जय
All
बाबा।
right. All right. We will
थैंक
stop
यू बेटी,
recording.
थैंक यू मेहरा। जय बाबा।
जय बाबा ताई जय बाबा